Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and if you, yes, you, have been paying attention to serialatmidnight.com, our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even if you caught our That's a Wrap, the first edition of our new YouTube series, That's a Wrap, where we recap the week that was in Serial at Midnight, then you will know that Kino Lorber Studio Classics is currently running a line-wide 5th anniversary sale with some seriously deep discounts. All discs, I believe, are a minimum of like 55% off. It's a super deep sale, and there are some fantastic deals to be had during that sale. You will also know, if you're paying attention to those outlets, that Serial at Midnight has given you a cheat sheet of all the discs that we love, that we have history with, that we have wanted, movies that we know are fantastic. There's seriously like 100 movies on this list that I personally curated for you. I didn't go into super detail on them because it's a big list, but I did say, like, this is John Wayne, it's good. This is Vincent Price. This is Vincent Price directed by Mario Bava. You know, if it's on that list, it is Serial at Midnight approved. So while Kino Studio Classics, because there is another branch of Kino that is not Studio Classics, Kino Lorber Studio Classics draws their library from the vaults of actual studios. So they're old, they're deep cuts from studio movies, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s movies. They're Studio Classics. There's also a Kino division that is independent film and like some current stuff, international stuff like that. We're talking about the Studio Classics, relics and treasures from the past. But of course, I partook of the sale because of course I did. This is my shipment. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is probably the first of 2 orders that I'm going to be placing during this sale. But here's the thing. This is still a sealed box and I don't remember what I ordered. So we're going to discover this again together and I'll be like, oh yeah. We've done a lot of Kino coverage here on the channel. There's a lot of reviews at serialatmidnight.com and there's a lot of videos here on YouTube with me, this face, talking about Kino Lorber Studio Classics because they are very cool movies. That's all genres, all kinds of things. So let's cut into this. I've got my knife. You know what? I'm gonna instead of holding my knife like an American, I'm gonna hold my knife like a European. You guys ever noticed that about European cigarette smokers like this? That like Clint Eastwood does it in some of the spaghetti westerns. You hold your cigarette in between your middle finger and your ring finger. Just an observation. Okay, we're cutting into the box. What might be inside? It's my Boris Karloff. What did he order from the Kino sale? They would find out together. Okay, I'm going to close this. I have a tendency of opening knives and then just leaving them. Last night I was opening a package from Shout Factory, I think it was, and I took the knife out and I opened it and I set it down and I had to get up and do something and I came back and I sat on the knife. It was okay. I'm not injured. It was flat, but it could have been a visit to the emergency room and that would be bad. So, okay, I'm going to tilt these on their side. Oh, I see a couple of titles. I'm not going to look. I'm going to flip these over so I do not see the spines. I have not shot a thumbnail yet because this was still sealed. So let's do this. Let's do a thumbnail, guys. So tease. I could do the typical cliched YouTube face. Or what's up with the people that do YouTube and they're just like, they just look like they're they're constipated or something. All right, hold on. All right, we gotta get serious here. This is thumbnail time, you guys. Let's get serious. Hey, let's get real. We're doing a thumb. Hey guys, we're doing a thumbnail. Okay, all right. Give myself lots of options here. That was no. Okay, just like. Hey, okay, that's good enough. We'll figure something out from that. Okay, so I'm reaching into the box here. What do we have? One. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 titles. A solid 7 titles. You guys, we have a huge Kino Lorber collection. I'm going to roll some B-roll footage over somewhere in here, and you've seen our Kino Lorber collection. And I think there's actually more on a shelf downstairs to be watched. So that's not even the complete Kino Lorber collection. Okay, I've taken one out. Ah, yes. A minute to pray, a second to die. So this has Alex Cord, Arthur Kennedy, Nicoletta Machiavelli, and Robert Ryan. This is a 1968 Western from, who is this by? I do not see a studio. I was going to tell you guys the studio here, and I do not see one. So Selmer Pictures Corp. So maybe this was an indie Western. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. It was produced by Albert Band, who is Charles Band's dad. The Full Moon guy, Charles Band, Puppet Master, that dude, this is his dad. So his dad produced this. And he directed some stuff too, but he didn't direct this. This was directed by Franco Giraldi. So I can tell you guys, I haven't seen this movie, but it's a classic Western in the vein of, late 60s. So they reference Navajo Joe on the back. It's a new 4K scan. It's not a 4K movie. It's a 4K scan. Okay, I'll have to tell you guys what I think about. A lot of times I try to do, like, I'm learning. The years into YouTube, I'm now learning I'd rather do things later. Like, I'd rather show some of this stuff later after I've watched it and I've had a chance to kind of talk about it. And you guys have said, hey, why don't you ever circle back around and talk more about those movies? So here's a tip, or not a tip. Here's a inside. Here's me telling you. Here's me confiding in you. Moving forward, we're going to start doing more curated, like off the shelf kind of things. Where we talk about, I'll do like, here's 5 Westerns that I think you guys need to be aware of. And I might talk about A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. But I'm going to do things like that. Here are some horror movies that I think are unsung, or things like that. So, number 2 is the Quatermass Experiment. And it's an X because it was rated X when it came out. This is a Hammer film. This was an early Hammer film, one of the very earliest Hammer horror films, right? This is produced by, or distributed by MGM, and it has a ton of cool special features. It's interesting because now it's not even rated. This was X when it came out in 1955, and now it's like, it's a black and white horror. It's not even rated. Just put it out. Like, no one is going to get tarnished, but like no one's childhood is going to be destroyed if they see this, because it's just interesting how that works, right? They gave this movie an X. What the X, you guys? Okay, it's got a ton of special features. It has an on-camera interview with John Carpenter. You might have heard of John Carpenter. He wrote a little movie called The Eyes of Laura Mars, and I don't know that he did much after that, but he's worth looking into if you... Obviously, we're being ridiculous because he is probably my favorite director of all time. The Quatermass Experiment, from reality to fiction. The Quatermass Experiment, comparing the versions. That'll be interesting because there have been a lot of different versions of Quatermass over the years. And I think Scream even has a couple of the sequels here. Shout, Scream. On-camera Val guest interview by Hammer film historian Marcus Hearn. An audio commentary by director Val Guest and Marcus Hearn. A Trailers from Hell with Ernest Dickinson, Joe Dante's Trailers from Hell, Ernest Dickinson, the original theatrical trailer, and the alternate main title. So this bad boy is just jacked to the nines. So that's very cool. Oh yeah, what a way to go. So I'm like remembering things that I ordered, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a, so I haven't seen it. That's going to apply to a lot of the stuff in here. This is a blind buy for me, but this is a late, it's 1964, and it's kind of a romantic comedy. All Louisa May Foster wants is a man to love and grow old with, but she keeps meeting and marrying men with the desire to strike it rich and a habit of dying soon thereafter, and it goes on. But the cast, you guys, the cast of this movie, Shirley MacLaine, in a very glamorous... There was a period in time in the 60s where Shirley MacLaine was getting like glam roles, which is very interesting. Because I don't know that we immediately associate her with that kind of like, isn't she glamorous? Shirley MacLaine, that kind of a thing. She's always been kind of like, Shirley MacLainian. I don't know. But so Shirley MacLaine is the lead. Paul Newman, Robert Mitchum, who is... Incendiary, And you guys, if you're not super familiar with Robert Mitchum and you're looking to dip your toe into the Mitchum waters, you gotta watch the original Cape Fear with Gregory Peck. I know they remade it. I know there's a Scorsese version. The original, it's way better than the Scorsese version. Robert Mitchum is very threatening. There's a lot more nuance and subtlety in the original version. That's all I'm gonna say. Dean Martin. You guys know I love Dean Martin. There's a video on this channel about the Dean Martin variety show, complete with special celebrity guests. Gene Kelly, a little dancer named Gene Kelly. Bob Cummings, and the last one here, Dick Van Dyke, is also in this movie. So I bought this for this cast. I think it was $7.99. I want to say this was $7.99. So take a chance on a 60s movie with a stellar cast for $7.99. Yes. It's these sales. I know there's a Criterion sale going on. I have been participating in the Criterion sale. I'll talk about it at some point. But I know that people take chances on Criterion movies. I love to take chances on these things because there's such a low investment, right? You're looking at $6.99, $7.99, $8.99. Even if you're paying $11 for a movie, you can take a risk, right? Because you're not going to see these on streaming. You're probably not going to digitally rent them. This is where physical media rules, you guys, because with physical media, with things like this, you can take a chance on something and you own it forever, and it's just the best. I don't even know what else to say. At the Earth's Core. Now, this is an AIP movie. AIP, one of the best exploitation studios in the history of film. AIP is one of my favorite studios. They put out a ton of Vincent Price movies. All the Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe movies that he made with Vincent Price. Most of those are American International. The Beach movies, you know, the Frankie Avalon, Annette Funicello. Those are AIP. AIP was a fantastic studio. I love them. I don't know that the story of AIP has really been told in the spotlight that it needs. I think someone needs to do a good AIP documentary and write like a 1,000-page book about AIP. Anyway, At the Earth's Core has one of my favorites, Peter Cushing, and it also has, here I'm going to read the, by the way, this is a 20th Century Fox movie, so I guess Disney owns this now. But it's Peter Cushing and Caroline. Is it Caroline or Carolyn? I think maybe it goes either way. I think it's a British English thing. I'm going to say Caroline Munro. You guys know Caroline Munro. She was a Bond girl. She was in Sinbad and what's the one? That's the second one. The one with Tom Baker. Sinbad and the Voyage of the Seven Seas. That doesn't sound right. You know what I'm talking about though, right? She's in one of the best Sinbad movie. And here she is in this movie. This is it's kind of one of those let's go to the center of the earth and see the monsters kind of a movie. And there are rubber monsters to be had there. What special features do we have? An on-camera interview with Caroline Munro, on-camera interview with the director Kevin Connor, an audio commentary with director Kevin Connor, original trailer, and more. What's more? What are they leaving off? We got 3 more left. What did I buy? Oh, Something Big. This is a 1971 Western starring, as you can see, Dean Martin. It's also starring Brian Keith, but of course I bought it for Dean Martin. And because I love Westerns, and not enough people are talking about Westerns. And you know what? I will be your Western connection. It seems like maybe, just maybe, Westerns are starting to creep up on the cult film fan radar. You know, obviously horror is everybody's favorite, I think, because I'm not sure, maybe it's something connected to the video store days, but like if you on film YouTube, film Twitter, film podcasts, all that stuff, horror is probably number one. Westerns are just about in the back. Not a lot of people are super interested in Westerns, but I think they're starting to creep up, and I'm going to start doing more videos about Westerns. I have been specifically requested, Dave, I've been asked to do more videos where I recommend some of my favorite Westerns, and there are so many good ones to talk about. So we'll dip into some of this stuff from time to time too. This is a CBS broadcasting. So this is let's see, Stanmore Productions and Pinbar Productions. So National General Pictures release. So this is somehow under CBS's purview. There are no special features here, but 1971 original aspect ratio and Dean Martin. I'll take it. What do we have? Jack the Giant Killer. This is one of those early 60s, 1962 monster movies. It's not a Harryhausen movie, right? Like, I don't think Harryhausen had anything to do with this, but I think that this is directly influenced by the stop motion magic of Ray Harryhausen. So I don't think he's directly involved in this, but he is kind of like the influencer of this movie in the first place. So this is, by the way, didn't the Usual Suspects guy, Bryan Singer, didn't he do a Jack the Giant Killer? Somebody did it. Didn't they do a Jack? Somebody. Anyway, this is the original. This is the 60s old school fantasy here. Let's try to get a better light on that. So this is going to be, fairy tale environment. Swords. People with swords fighting monsters. You get this guy with a sword and he's fighting this beast, this dragon griffin thing up there. I don't know what it is, but he's going to kill it. So a little bit of Paul Stanley in there. I don't know what it is, but he's going to kill it. I'll kill it, people. Let me tell you something, people. I'll kill that griffin. It's the original 94-minute cut and a re-envisioned 91-minute musical version. WTF. What is that? I have no idea. Audio commentary by film historian Tim Lucas on the original cut. He does good commentary, right? It's 185 minutes. Holy crap. I just saw that and I will never watch this movie. No, I'm just kidding, but that's quite a commitment. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Maybe that's the Okay, as I'm talking, I'm realizing that I literally just said that it's a 94-minute version and a 91-minute version. They've combined the running time on the two of those, and I just clicked. I have ADD. Okay, this is the last one. I don't know what it is. This is the last one. I hope it's good. I hope we can go out on a high note. Oh yeah, The Skull. You know who's in The Skull? Peter Cushing, Patrick Wymark. I don't know, and Christopher Lee. Gandalf, you will not take the Palantir, Gandalf. That was okay. I've done better, Christopher Lee's. Gandalf, you will look into the eye of Agamotto. I don't know. It's The Skull. This is a I'm trying to think what studio put this out. I don't think it's Hammer. Is it Tygon? It's Amicus. It's an Amicus movie. Amicus, so Hammer was like, for me, Hammer is my favorite of the English horror studios. Amicus was kind of direct competition for them in the late 60s and into the 70s. This movie is written by, based from the story The Skull, by Robert Bloch. All I know is Robert Bloch is involved in this, and Robert Bloch is obviously, he wrote the novel and the screenplay for Psycho. He wrote some stuff he had a tenure at Amicus. Asylum is a Robert Bloch anthology. Good people, that Robert Bloch. So this is an 83-minute horror movie with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, the two Hammer Giants in an Amicus movie. When the skull strikes, you'll scream. The new height in fright. I think that's how it should be said. When the skull strikes, you'll scream. The new height in fright. I'm Casey Kasem. Coming up next with a long distance request. Tim in Vancouver misses his dog Bubbles. This has an audio commentary by Tim Lucas. It has Jonathan Rigby on The Skull featurette. That's almost a half an hour. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't look at the special features when I order. Sometimes they don't even, maybe I think they do list them on the website, but I'm buying this one for the special features, so I did not know this until just now. It has a Trailers from Hell with Joe Dante, ding, and who I've started listening to his podcast, The Movies That Made Me, lately. And see, creators have to be very careful about what they're putting in, because you can put in so many different voices and your own voice gets buried under everybody else's opinions. But I do like to listen to creators talk about other creators, and so I am really enjoying The Movies That Made Me podcast, which Joe Dante's in like every episode. And he is, a lot of people, like people say like Quentin Tarantino has a bottomless film knowledge. I actually think Joe Dante might know more about movies than anybody that I've ever heard talk about movies. So anyway, this is fantastic. The Trailers from Hell with Joe Dante. And this is the one that got me excited. A 27-minute featurette. Kim Newman on the skull. You guys know Kim Newman is one of my people. He's one of those people that's so, I always say he just reminds me of my own eccentricities. Like he dresses like he's from the Old West, kind of steampunky, loves horror, loves all these old 50s and 60s horror jams. This is a 1965 movie. This is going to be a lot of fun. So this is my order. This is the 7 movies that I love. By the way, I'm kind of, what's going on here, Kino? What's this about? Hopefully there's a black spine on the bottom, on the other side, reversible artwork. I used to be so bummed when I started buying Kino. I was like, they're just black spines. What is this, like the library? But now, all these years later, I really appreciate those black spines because you can pick something out super quickly. And you've seen the collection. I put it over this, but I haven't alphabetized them. Like at one point in time, they were kind of sort of organized, but through the building of the new shelves and everything's kind of out of order. But you know what? I'm going to open this really quick and see if there's a black spine on the, like if there's reversible artwork. Sometimes these Kino Lorber movies do have reversible artwork. It's not a regular feature, but it does happen sometimes. And so I'm kind of hoping, nope, no reversible there. Well, I should take that back. There is a reversible spine. There's alternate artwork. So here's the artwork that we're given on the front, right? And so here is the alternate artwork. So the original, alternate, and I think the back is the same. So this is gonna bother me, man. This is like this is the only one that doesn't have a black spine. I'm gonna have to make a custom black spine. All right, guys, that's let's get out of here. This is a long one, guys. Thanks for hanging out and talking about some Kino Lorber Studio classics with me. Are you going to participate in the sale? I think it's running through August 4th. Do not quote me. I have not double checked that, but my memory from when I wrote up that cheat sheet is that it's running through August 4th. So I would not wait. As soon as you see this video, if you're interested, head on over to the Kino Lorber Studio Classics site. No, first, head on over to serialatmidnight.com and check out our cheat sheet, which I will link in the description of this video so you can go straight to it. Check out our cheat sheet and see what we recommend that sounds good to you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Serial at Midnight. I would love to. I can't get too detailed. I can't spend, like pages and pages with you. But if you email us, if you hit us up on social media, I'd be more than happy to help you steer you towards some great picks, because there are so many cool genre classics from Kino Lorber Studio Classics. I love this label, and I love what they do to resuscitate. They get these old movies that people aren't talking about, that are not water cooler talk movies, that are not on streaming services, and that frankly sometimes people just haven't heard of them, and they give them nice new, they have like 4K scans or nice special features. A 27-minute Kim Newman featurette, that's awesome. So we're big fans of the label. I'm probably going to place another order. Having just opened these and having that thrill, I might go do it like as soon as I finish this video. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate you so very much. So take care, and until next time, I will catch you later.